Since its inception, the Monaco Blue Initiative has been based on the recognition that cooperation among ocean stakeholders is absolutely essential. Political leaders, scientific experts, and economic players, only by working together can we take effective and appropriate action to enhance both ocean preservation and sustainable management. Economics give us the ability to transform our lives rapidly and profoundly through consumer choices that shape production, transportation, and waste management in line with our aspirations. Finance provides the means to mobilize vast resources, often far greater than those available to states or multilateral organizations, which are frequently overwhelmed by pressing global emergencies. This is why it is essential to approach these issues with both care and determination.
Bearing in mind the words that His Serene Highness Prince Albert said this morning, that the fight is urgent, and he really emphasized those words, cooperation and efficiency, and I think I would add to that also profitability.
That is also extraordinarily nature positive. And I need to stress this because it's not about doing less damage to the environment. We're well beyond that. We need to find solutions that actually help nature restore itself.
The capital stack that is needed is multi-layered. So first of all, philanthropy and early stage investing, they have played a tremendous role in getting a lot of these early stage entrepreneurs into the fold.
We lost something like 40 to 50% of mangroves in the early 2000s. And this is the challenge that we're facing. Not only how do we go forward with that legacy, but how do we fix?
The African continent imports, I think, around 6 billion in fisheries products, which is really a missed opportunity when we could be looking at innovations that are enabled by these kind of financial engineering mechanisms that would really uplift and transform the blue economy.
Now we need to have actions, we need to have decision, and we need to have big money. That's the reason why we want to involve the corporations and the banks in the system.
This is one of the rare moments in history where doing what is right for our planet aligns seamlessly with the interests of investors.
This UBPP is the largest conservation initiative in the history of the world. The Blue Pacific continent is about 1.5 times the size of the African continent.
This opportunity, this huge amount of plus for humans, will only accrue if we stop degrading our ocean.
IUCN is advancing solutions, including the One Ocean Finance Facility, a global mechanism for marine protection, sustainable use, and restoration for marine resilience.
More recently, we've understood that healthy islands also mean healthy reefs. So if you have healthy seabird populations, the corals grow 4 times faster and you have much higher reef fish biomass.
Korean government is play a critical role in marine protections through the Ministry of Ocean and Fisheries. Has developed a national marine environmental management plan. It is very important to us.
La qualité de l'eau, la qualité de nos eaux, c'est ce qui fait aussi derrière la survie de l'espèce humaine. Si la qualité de l'eau n'est pas au rendez-vous, nous n'aurons pas non plus d'écosystème marin qui soit une biodiversité qui permette justement de la durabilité.
The Bridges program, it's a scientific French national program that started this year and will last for the next 10 years. It's coordinated by IRD, CNRS and IFRMER.
50% of the global economy might be dependent on natural systems. But if we don't have that 50%, the other 50% doesn't exist at all. So every part is really dependent.
After we have created a marine protected area and after we have spent public money for it, the state decided to put offshore windmill inside, which is not, there is not consistency in this type of politics.
We cannot
safeguard nature without active participation of the people living on the ground or on the coast or on the boats.
And we went to the World Bank, which has a AAA rating, and said, if we were to have you be an issuer and allocate the proceeds into doing something that's positive for the ocean, we think we can find you a lot of investors.
1.8 million hectares of coral reef being restored, and over 100,000 representatives of the local people getting benefits out of positive reef business.
In Japan, in Korea, in China, overall at the world level, we see that there is more and more interest for a strategy like ours, which is focused on regenerating ocean biodiversity.
And I think if you really want to move fast, because time is a real issue for us, if you start making very complicated financial structures to try to obtain financing from corporations and whatever, I think we lose too much time.
Again, I want to emphasize that we're focusing on the harmful subsidies, not all subsidies. We want, in fact, to make sure that there are adequate financial tools to help governments fish sustainably.
We deal with 6 areas of interest, what we call the pillars. So that includes marine protected areas, marine pollution, climate change, sustainable fisheries, the blue economy, and maritime security.
Emphasizing the role of science, how can we protect the ocean if we don't measure sea level rise? How can we invest in the blue economy if we are not able to predict and measure the impact, either positive or negative, of the projects that are being funded?
Tout a commencé il y a 100 ans. Et l'intuition d'Albert Ier qui consiste à dire il faut connaître l'océan, elle est toujours là à Monaco, 100 ans après, et c'est celle-là qui nous habite aujourd'hui.
I feel that this 16th edition of the Monaco Blue Initiative is a resounding success, not only because we are always happy to celebrate together, but because we did very clear and strong work.
The new blue economy is one that innovates to find the many solutions necessary to solve the crisis of plastic waste pollution. It is a deep movement that is only starting, and that will hopefully be the next chapter of our global economic success. So thank you all.